Okay, let's dive into this explainer on a seriously wild thought experiment. Imagine, just for a second, waking up tomorrow morning. You roll over, grab your phone like you do every single day, but instead of the usual flood of emails, text messages, and social media alerts, there is just one single glowing notification on your screen. It's a scenario that would completely upend absolutely everything we know about how human beings operate. Today, we're going to break down exactly how society would react if we were all suddenly put on the ultimate ticking clock.
Imagine staring at this message. Every human on Earth has exactly 365 days left to live. No explanation, no warning, and absolutely no way to swipe it away. Now, at first, you'd probably think it's a massive cyber attack, right? Or just a really bad global prank. But as the minutes tick by, you turn on the TV, it's there. You open your laptop, it's there. And then comes the terrifying part, the confirmation. Governments, top scientists, and space agencies across the globe all issue statements confirming the impossible. The countdown is real. There's no mistake. We literally have 1 year left. So what on earth happens next?
Well, the illusion of a normal life dissolves almost instantaneously. In the first few hours, it is just total chaos. The internet is absolutely flooded with millions of videos, people panicking, people praying, and weirdly enough, some people just celebrating the end of all the rules. By the end of day one, the daily infrastructure we completely take for granted just snaps. Supermarkets are stripped bare in a matter of minutes. Gas stations run entirely dry. ATMs crash because suddenly everybody thinks they need physical cash. But then, look at the first week. The panic actually transitions into this massive exodus. A profound realization hits everyone. Why go to work if we're all gone in a year? Millions just walk out on their jobs. Schools and universities become ghost towns as students abandon their exams. Instead, airports and highways are just jam-packed with families traveling thousands of miles, desperately trying to get home for one last hug.
And you know, this instant chaos triggers a complete economic meltdown. It completely flips our idea of what's actually valuable practically overnight. Think about it. Would you care about putting money into a 401k or saving for a retirement that is never going to happen? No way. So things like luxury cars, diamond rings, high-end fashion, and eventually money itself, they lose all their meaning. Dealerships full of sports cars just sit there, completely ignored. Instead, things like food, clean water, and basic medicine become the world's most sought-after treasures. This massive shift in priorities causes global stock markets to crash instantaneously, and countless companies just shut their doors forever.
Here's the truly wild part, though. While the traditional economy is crashing and burning, a totally unprecedented, forced unity actually emerges out of the ashes. It takes the literal end of the world for world leaders who were threatening each other with sanctions or war just a week prior to finally stop arguing. They hold emergency meetings and actually speak with a single voice. Military forces are deployed not to fight wars, but strictly to maintain order and protect the remaining food and water supplies. Countries actively start helping one another across borders because, really for the very first time in history, every single nation on Earth unequivocally shares the exact same fate.
But hey, we're humans. We're natural problem solvers, and we wouldn't just sit back and accept this without a fight. While society is reorganizing itself, the smartest minds on the planet are desperately asking these core questions. What is causing this? Is it an unstoppable airborne virus? Is it some unavoidable cosmic event hurtling towards Earth? Or could it be a secret doomsday weapon? The scientific community flat out refuses to give up. Space agencies like NASA, top medical researchers, and the most advanced AI supercomputers all pool their resources and data. They work around the clock, desperately searching for an answer, a cure, or just some loophole to a threat that seems completely beyond human understanding.
As the months roll by with no scientific cure in sight, a massive psychological shift takes place. The phrase, "I'll do it someday," gets completely wiped from the human vocabulary. Panic actually gives way to this bizarre sort of clarity. People start looking inward. Neighbors who haven't spoken in years suddenly start helping each other out. Old, bitter enemies actually sit down and forgive one another. Charities receive record-breaking donations even if the money itself is losing its traditional value. People completely stop caring about accumulating expensive stuff, and instead, they become laser-focused on accumulating moments. Someday disappears because, well, someday is rapidly running out.
This ushers in what we can call the bucket list era. And honestly, it's an incredibly inspiring chapter for humanity. People stop simply existing and they actually begin living. Millions finally pull the trigger on their delayed dreams. You've got people traveling to the Himalayas to climb Mount Everest or trying to step foot on every single continent. Others take that terrifyingly brave step of finally confessing their love to the person they've been admiring from afar.
And art? Art flourishes like never before. Musicians, freed from the need to sell tickets, perform these massive free concerts right in the streets. Artists just paint freely. Writers finally sit down and finish those books they've been postponing for years. It's just a beautiful, chaotic explosion of pure human expression.
But the clock never stops. Eventually, we hit this number, 30. When only 30 days remain, the whole tone shifts again. The countdown is absolutely everywhere. It's glowing on wristwatches, plastered across massive city billboards, and even being broadcast back down to Earth from satellites. And as that number shrinks, the frantic energy of the bucket list era starts to fade away. Entire bustling cities grow incredibly quiet. The traffic noise just vanishes. People stop traveling and instead just gather in closely with their loved ones. A very strange, heavy, yet somehow beautiful peace falls over humanity.
And then, the final sunrise arrives. On this last day, nobody wants to be alone. People seek comfort and meaning wherever they can find it. Churches, mosques, and temples are filled to absolute capacity with folks seeking spiritual solace. Others choose to spend their last hours deeply connected to nature, gathering on beaches to watch the waves, sitting quietly in forests, or hiking up mountains. But honestly, the vast majority simply choose to stay home, just sitting in their living rooms, holding hands with their families, waiting quietly as the evening draws in and midnight slowly approaches.
The tension is palpable. Every single screen on Earth, from the massive jumbotrons in Times Square down to the smartphone in your pocket, synchronizes to show these final agonizing seconds. 5, 4, 3. People close their eyes, holding their breath, bracing for whatever unimaginable event is about to wipe them out. 2, 1,
0. The screens flash, and then absolute silence. Nothing happens. No explosion in the sky, no sudden loss of consciousness, just crickets. Everyone waits, frozen in place. A minute passes, then 5 minutes, then an entire hour. People slowly open their eyes and look around at each other in total confusion. The predicted destruction, the grand finale of humanity, it never actually comes. The world is still spinning.
As the sun rises the very next morning, lighting up a world that is still very much intact, every screen on the planet lights up once again. But the countdown is gone. Instead, there's the mother of all plot twists, a single new message glowing on the displays. Humanity has passed the test. The countdown, it turns out, was never a weapon, and it was never a threat of destruction. It was a profound, universal wake-up call, orchestrated by some unknown force, designed to just snap humanity out of its toxic routines. Think about the stark contrast between who we were and who we became. Before the countdown, humanity was trapped in this endless cycle of delayed dreams. We ignored our families to work crazy hours, and we held on to bitter, pointless grudges for decades. We basically operated under the assumption that we always had tomorrow. But after the countdown, the paradigm completely shifted. Humanity finally learned the hardest and most valuable lesson of all, that time is our most precious resource, and that life is absolutely never guaranteed, not even for one more day. Now, obviously, in reality, none of us actually have a glowing, visible countdown hovering above our heads. We don't get a push notification telling us exactly how many days we have left. But the fundamental truth of this explainer remains exactly the same. Our clocks are ticking down, every single second of every single day. We just can't see the numbers. So, as we wrap things up today, I want to leave you with this ultimate takeaway to reflect on right now. Don't wait for a global notification to start living. Ask yourself, what are you doing with today?